Built two back in.
That's my last.
Bill Selm, our Sergeant at Arms. Said you are a Sergeant at Arms. You're going through the hallway. All right, I think we're going to begin. I'm on. Okay. All right, so Bill Cummin, my name is Brian Griesmer. I'm the president of the Indiana German Heritage Society, and this is our 40th annual meeting and symposium where the topic this year is German American cuisine. First of all, I can't make this stuff up similar to Mr. Kropp here in terms of doing jokes or anything on the fly here, but we'll give it a shot here. So last year I started this, and I'll start it again here. In my youth, I once asked a German Fräulein for a telephone number, and I'm still waiting all these years later for the rest of the numbers. So far, all I have is 9. Here's another one. They keep coming. Eventually, we'll get to the sunshine matter of the whole meeting. Why can't cats drive boats in Germany? Because it is verboten. All right, so I was like a little meat tenderizer, softening you up a little bit to get really into the nuts and bolts of this. I'm glad, although they were bad jokes, you did get them. Some people would still be over their head. Okay, so we're happy here to meet again in person for the second year in a row. Last year, as you know, we met in person in Batesville, Oldenburg, at the Sherman for the first time since the onset of the pandemic, which sometimes it seems like that was it's been a long time ago. We hope you really enjoy the after dinner program tonight and the symposium tomorrow, where we will present some great topics. And so the following presentations and visits we expect tonight is the after dinner program is the German influence on U.S. and Indiana beer, Ron Smith. And then tomorrow we have Moving the Feast, German Cooking, Hoosier Style with our very own Steve Schmidt, Librarian Emeritus. And at 10 o'clock, we shift over to the Midwestern Creole, Evolution of German American Cuisine across our region, also our very own Dr. Travis Yerde. And then at 11 o'clock is Germans and their love for bread, former IGHS board member Jeanette Putman and Alice Matsuo. Am I pronouncing that correct? Close enough. And they're the proprietors of Brogarten Perkup Cafe in the Broad Ripple area. And then at 2 o'clock after lunch, there's a brewery visit over to St. Joseph's. So hopefully you'll see some old friends this weekend, and while making some new friends along the way. So we'll just jump right in terms of the agenda. We'll call to order and I welcome everyone to join us. I don't have the elevator speech. You don't happen to have a copy of that, do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to come and say it.
But I can't see it. Oh. So this was instituted by our past president, Jim Kinley, along with some folks from the governance board, Esther Hubert. And so we recite this at the very beginning of each of our board meetings. Our mission is to preserve, celebrate, share, and promote understanding and appreciation of the German heritage and traditions of our state and nation. As a statewide organization, IGHS provides and supports ongoing cultural events available to all who are interested in the history, culture, and relationships with the German-speaking countries. We'll move over to the declaration of a quorum. Our secretary is online. Do we have a quorum, Madam Secretary?
I believe is Al there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think we have 14. All we have, we have 13 board members present. 14. I think we've got a quorum. Sorry for stuttering.
Well, our bylaws allow for 5% of the membership board to be present to constitute a quorum. We have more than 5% here. So therefore, we do have a quorum in both factors. So are the minutes up from the last annual meeting, and has anyone reviewed them, in particular from the IGHS board, and have any comments for our secretary to make any modifications?
I have reviewed them and I will make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
There is a second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes approved from the 2023 annual meeting. We'll jump right into the president's report, and no, I won't preface it with more bad jokes.
Is there a doctor show for that?
I don't believe I have that. Okay, so the 2024 state of the organization, some of the items I'm actually going to go in and talk about. When we get into the committee reports, they'll go into a deeper dive in terms of explaining some of the items and bullet points that I'm going to be going through. So if you feel like I'm just brushing up on it real quickly, the chairperson for each committee will either go deeper or if there's sort of more questions about a particular topic, there are the individuals that will be able to provide a more detailed response. So recently we said our final goodbyes at the celebration of life for Dr. Ruth Reichman, who was one of the IGHS founders. She was IGHS President Emerita and the IGHS newsletter editor for many years. That whole event was coordinated by Claudia Grossman, who's with us, and was well attended by numerous individuals representing their organizations and academia. Ruth had numerous interests in and out of the German American community, in which she was a known intellect, fierce advocate, and everyone knows she was a person who just got things done. As mentioned several times at the celebration of life, she will be sorely missed. Again, Ruhe and Frieden, Ruth. And despite this bad news, the organization remains financially sound and is enthusiastic to continue its mission of understanding, promoting, and celebrating the contributions of German-speaking immigrants and their descendants. We had a huge turnaround occurred at the 2023 Carmel Christkindlmarkt with a glowing net positive financial outcome after instituting some measures at the Das Pretzel House and Kartoffelpuffer booths. And we look forward to 2024. IGHS once again was a sponsor at the Carmel Christkindlmarkt, focusing on the culture echo. More details later on that. What did we participate in last year? We participated in a variety of events, not only the Carmel Christkindlmarkt, we were at the Strassenfest in Jasper, the Freudenfest in Oldenburg, the Taste the Difference at the Global Village, the Indy 500 Parade, the Athenaeum German Fest, the St. Nikolaus celebrations, both at the Carmel Christkindlmarkt and here at the Athenaeum Das Deutsche Haus. And we continue the annual, and I hope I get this right, Weihnachtsliederkranz und Christbaum Schmutzaustausch at Carmel Christkindlmarkt. We again awarded scholarships to the Indiana high school students traveling abroad on the Indiana University's Honors Program for Foreign Language and the German American Partnership Program in 2023. And we just announced the winners of the 2024 contest. We also had a very successful autumn high school and college student essay contest with a high turnout. All the winners and teachers became members of the IGHS for free. So there's an incentive to actually win and participate. The IGHS recognized Gerhard Klemm as the 2023 Hoosier German American of the Year Award recipient, and we're already looking forward to naming the 2024 recipient. We restarted Deutsche Samstagschule at the International School of Indiana. It's a German Saturday school. Been dormant for the past 3 years because of the pandemic. And that is a community outreach program from the Department of World Languages and the Cultures at IUPUI in cooperation with IGHS. So many thanks again for Dr. Claudia Grossman and Lucy Wright. I'm sure she's here online for starting that. And we still have some more work on that moving forward. And we look forward to that. We continue to sponsor events such as the Culture Echo, as I mentioned before, at the Colonel Chris Kindermartin's Sister Cities, Indianapolis Kuhn Fire Department German Exchange Program Festival, and the Bonds Program. Presentations at a later time and provide comments and feedback on our YouTube channel, and then which is by way of our website. And then, although the Nationalities Council of Indiana canceled the 2023 International Festival at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, we're hopeful that will return this year. Tonight, I won't give it away too much, but we are welcoming 2 new IGHS board members to the board of directors, which we're very excited to have come aboard. And with these new additions, we'll be comprised of a full board of directors at 25. So they'll come in. Last January 2023, in this room, the IGHS held a very successful strategic planning meeting for the first time in 2015. And our focus was on identifying our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, SWOT, which led us to focus our efforts on membership, both outreach and inreach, recruitment, marketing, branding, and funds development. We continue to focus on those 3 aspects that still need further refinement, but it was a successful strategic planning meeting, of which all the information pertaining to the strategic planning meeting has been summarized in PowerPoint slides and is located on our website. More work, like I said, needs to be done to further develop some of these committee action items. We still have projects that we intend to make progress on or close out in 2024, always the optimist. So some of those are, and got some information back and forth today on the St. Marian Kirche, St. Mary's Church inscription, creating an Indiana German Heritage Landmarks database. We need to replace the Telegraph and Tribuna historical marker that was damaged for the 2nd time in Indianapolis, and facilitate in the installation of a historical German town marker up at the Geist Reservoir. I think we'll be pretty successful on quite a few of those endeavors. We need to also complete more chapters in the anthology. And then we also need to enhance our membership, enrollment, and experience. A program that we are looking to launch this year is the Culture Enhancement Program brought forth by the Yardies here, Travis and Amy, which will allow organizations to apply for grants from the IGHS. And we intend to have more information regarding this program on our website soon. So this is very new information. We're really excited in terms of the format and the structure as being proposed on here. And then lastly, if you're not a member of the Indiana German Heritage Society, please join and belong to an organization that continues to promote, perpetuate, and celebrate Indiana German culture and tradition. But it also needs your assistance. If you're a member already, Danke. And as an IGH member, we would like you to get involved even more, as Indiana is a big state to cover that requires a lot of work to fulfill its mission. So we look forward to the 2024-2025 year with lots of goals to accomplish, but we can't get there without you coming involved. So thank you for all that you do to promote the mission and vision of the Indiana German Heritage Society. And that's the president's report. We'll go into committee reports. And we'll start with the treasurer's report, including the financial committee report and budget. So if you can stay right there, or you can read right here, or however you want to do it, Al.
Is there a finance committee report there? If not, just bring up the budget.
FY budget.
Yeah. Is that the? I'll Guten Abend, I'm Al Hurt. I'm the treasurer of the Indiana German Heritage Society, and I want to accomplish three things rather briefly here this evening. Number one is tell you how we did last year from a financial standpoint. Number two, talk a little bit more about what Brian brought up. And then number three, talk about the budget for the current year, 2024. Our organization, our fiscal year is the same as the calendar year, so it's January and December. So we're already a couple months into the current fiscal year. As Brian mentioned, our largest, yes, sir.
Were these sent by email to us? I
Yes.
know that
Yes.
some items were sent.
Yeah, the budget was not, but the rest of the committee reports.
Okay, I've seen
I think we've got a
them, but I
copy of
didn't
that.
see the budget.
Okay. And I'll talk a little bit in detail about that. But first, let me cover the 2023 financial results. From operations, we had a bit of a stressful year because going back to the Chris Kindle Mart of 2022, we had a tough year from a weather standpoint, an inventory standpoint, and some other operational issues that have since been fixed. But since the Carmel Chris Kindle Mart, the two booths that are there are our largest fundraiser, that put us into a hole starting beginning of 2023. And however, we were able to run all of the programs during 2023 that we normally do. The educational, the scholarships, all the events that Ryan talked about. However, at the end of the year, we ended up with an operational loss of just over $5,000. The way we covered that shortfall was we took some money from our investments to help cover that shortfall of about $5,000. So that's the bad news. The good news is our investments last year did quite well. We, even after taking 5,000 out of the investments, we had a positive return for growth in our investments of 4.2%. And we ended the year with total investments of $280,831. So from a financial standpoint, we're well capitalized, we're on sound footing. So even though we had a stressful year last year, like I said, the good news is was on the investments, and then also the Chris Kindle Mart from the winter of 23, which funds our 2024, was quite successful. Do you have the budget up? Okay, great. The budget is comprised of the revenue of the organization is comprised of a couple factors. The income from Chris Kindle Mart is the biggest one, and then also we have dues and we get donations. So the combination of those three things total about $45,000, and that's what we're projecting for revenue in 2024 is $45,370. The numbers are probably small. I'm not looking at them, but I imagine they're small. So we're projecting revenue of the 45,300, and where do we spend that money? Well, we spend that money, what we've budgeted is about 10,000. I'm rolling up several line items, about 10,000 in administrative things, marketing, membership expenses, accounting, website, those kinds of everyday kinds of things comprise about $10,000 in expenses. Then we also have educational activities that comprise about $8,000. That would be the essay contest, the scholarships to send students abroad, those kinds of things. And then the rest of the spending that we've projected here is what I will call cultural enhancements. And Brian touched on that, and we'll hear a little bit more about that. But altogether, we're looking at about $22,000 in cultural enhancements. Those would be things that Brian mentioned, the replacement of the historical markers, the Cologne Sister Cities Fire Department exchange, participating in German Fest here. Also reinvesting in our Chris Kindlemart in Carmel assets, and then other projects that may come up, like the inscription at the St. Mary's Kirche, as well as other grant proposals that we may receive throughout the year. So having built those things, all of the normal things, plus those additional things into the budget, we still are looking at a positive bottom line for the current year of $5,000, which will go to replace the $5,000 that we had to take out of our investments the year before. So over the 2-year period, we're break even, and we are a nonprofit, so that puts us back where we need to be over that 2-year horizon. That is the main highlights, unless there are questions. Sure.
You said education was 8,000?
About, yes.
I've
That's-
seen 5,600.
So if you look at essay contest winner, that would be up in education, and then back scholarship is a new thing.
Oh, it's mixed up.
Right, I regroup things in order to give a shorter explanation than going through each line item. There are some things on there that are events, some things that are labeled donations, and what I did was I recombined them for the sake of discussion into educational and culture and then administrative kinds of things. So,
Where is the, interest income up there?
which one?
Interest,
Interest.
So
your investment income.
We did not, I mean, that would be, well, it would show up in the 2023 statement as distribution from investments, but we're not anticipating that this year. So there isn't a line item. In 2023, we took 5,000 out of the investments, and that was recognized in our 2023 statement as income from investments. But we still had a loss of $5,000. This year, the budget that's being proposed does not have that line item because we end up with a positive 5,000. And if this comes true, I mean, if we stay to the budget, then we'll have the 5,000 to put back into the investments to replenish the 5,000 we took out last year.
How are those investments?
It's, we
Are
have an
those in
investment.
CDs or?
It's a mixed portfolio, where we have, mutual funds, annuities, some fixed income items, and they're managed by, a third party. And our finance committee, that's a function of the finance committee, is to work with our financial advisors, to manage through those things. And we've been pretty successful, over the last several years that I've been treasurer. So, as I said, even with the distribution last year, we grew those investments by over 4%.
I move approval of the budget for 2024.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of approving Al's committee report? Yep. All those? Good.
Thank you.
Approved. Thank you. Move on to membership. It's me. I'm gonna have to read from here. Okay, so this should be pretty straightforward. There's only a few bullet items associated here. Right now, we use a web-based application called Wild Apricot. It's for our membership administrator software. And so we're in the process of actually evaluating another software that's just as capable due to the subscription price of continuing to rise. You can see that the next time we need to renew is in August of 2024. It's, as of right now, it's scheduled for $1,512. So we have another person within the organization who's been tasked to take a look at it from a functionality standpoint to see if there's suitable replacements. We've come up with another software that we're taking a look at called Join It. And it's about somewhere in the realm of $900 to $1,000 cheaper that has the same functionality that we currently have. It's typically similar to having a computer. You only use a computer for maybe 5% of its real capability. Well, we're probably using current Wild Apricot software to maybe 10 or 15% of its real capability, and a lot of those bells and whistles we don't need. It's a lot of it's designed for larger organizations. We're taking a look at it. We haven't made this decision yet. We'll come back to the board and to make a recommendation in terms of the path forward. Now in the meantime, there's a limit on the database. It only can have the current one only can have 500, whereas the new one, I believe, can have more than 500. I forget what the quantity actually is. So people that haven't renewed their membership in terms of from a database standpoint, if we reach the 500 limit, you have to go into archive. So that's one thing against going forward with the same membership database. So taking a look at that. Membership overall, the level has been relatively flat year over year. We do have an increase, but most of that is attributed to German high school teachers and contest winners. I alluded to last time in terms of receiving a complimentary membership. So we're still looking at other ways to actually promote that better going forward in 2024. Again, another case of leaning into technology. I have a few people, like Travis and Patrick Rutledge, and other people taking a look at the Square devices to possibly use at a variety of events that people would be more make more impromptu decisions of actually becoming a member. So we're going to lean into that. We've set aside some money associated with the budget for this upcoming year to start embracing some of that and see where it actually goes. So that's all I had for the membership. Any questions?
Can you tell us how many members we have?
Oh, yes, sorry. Scroll down, please.
Oh.
So this is the output, the report. So we're somewhere around, if you scroll down even further, Travis, this is kind of the past couple of years from a trend standpoint. You can see the slight step up. So somewhere around 235 active members.
And is this increase, this is during the Chris Kindlemark season, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then it becomes flat.
Yeah, it goes flat again, but,
Some of that is some are active, some are family, some are individual, some are complementary. We have a lot of folks here who are German American of the Year award recipients. That becomes a lifelong one. We have members that are lifetime members. Nicole's one of them. Lifetime for $500. You become a lifetime member as well. And so you see the variety of categories that we have here. So you scroll down. I think that's probably it in terms of the output. So that answer your question, Bill?
Yes, thank you.
Any more membership? Okay, so is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Approved. Move on to Education and Youth Committee. Claudia and Wendy.
Hi, I'm representing the essay contest. In the fall, we hold 2 essay contests for, not for our students, coming from universities, for students. A high school essay contest and a college essay contest. And this year, we were very pleased in the that there were a number of schools represented submitting applications or submitting essays for the contest, so it wasn't just 1 or 2 schools. So in the high school essay contest, we had the first place winner was Martin Kniff from Terre Haute North, Vigo. That's Frau Canton, and she had a good number of students submitting for this contest. Logan Bailey got 2nd place, again, also from Terre Haute North, Vigo. And 3rd place was a Carmel High School student, Carlin Hunter, one of Angelica Beck's students. You probably have all heard of Angelica Beck. It's a wonderful, wonderful teacher. And then for the college essay contest, again, we had, I think, the most colleges submit, or students submit essays from the most colleges. We had 5 different colleges represented this time. And the winner was Dr. Malco's student from Valpo, Mackenzie Albright. 2nd place was University of Southern Indiana student. That was the first time each of these universities had submitted an essay. That was Dr. Bowne's student, Ryan Van Buskirk. And my students got 3rd place from Marian University, Sylvia Vanderberg. And we also had submissions from Butler University as well. So we're very happy with the turnout for that essay contest.
What was the topic again?
Oh, sorry. Jumped right in, didn't I? They both had the same topic. We asked them to look at German American influences on the American media landscape. And that was broadly defined, so not specifically to Indiana, just across the US. For example, German language newspapers, many wrote about the newspapers, periodicals, television broadcasting companies, German language radio programs, we had a student write about the radio programs, and etc. So, thank you for the follow-up. Any questions on the essay contest? I wanted to point out one reason to continue the contest from the professor's perspective is when you get a student, or from a teacher, or a teacher as a student, when you have a student who wins one of these awards, then it's a real win for your program. So you make sure to tell your department chair, your dean, your assistant dean. It appears in whatever publications you have on-campus newsletter. So it's not just for that individual student who's writing the essay, but to promote German American information more broadly. And of course, it also has the effect of supporting the programs, right? The school principal has a positive impression of the German teacher's work. And I think that is the real, there's value for the student for being able to research a specific topic, but there's also value for the school and the whole program to bring, to bring the eyes of the school onto that program.
And I don't know if you mentioned that before, all of the students who did receive prizes also receive complimentary
Yes.
membership, and the teachers do too, but even better, the teachers from now on get a complimentary membership anyway. So this is a new thing we instituted. German high school teachers will receive a complimentary membership to IGHS.
Fundraising, somebody coined that term.
Fundraising, yeah.
Or not fundraising, fundraising.
Well, I'm the other co-chair of the education committee, so Wendy usually experienced the essay contest, and I'm the contact person for the scholarship competition because we do have money to give away, as was mentioned earlier, and it is sorely needed and it is sought after. So in every year, we provide scholarships for Indiana high school students to participate in an official study abroad program during the summertime. That could be the Indiana University Honors Program for Foreign Languages, which takes place in Graz, Austria now. It used to take place in Krefeld in Germany, but it was moved to Graz, Austria, where IU already has a strong and long-standing connection. And we gave out $5,500 in scholarships last year for both the IU Honors Program as well as the high school German-American Partnership Program exchange. That's a school-to-school exchange where a German school sends students here to Indiana, and then Indiana school sends students over to the German partner school. So it's a true exchange, a 3-week exchange. So here are the winners from last year. There were 3 $1,000 scholarships given on an IU Honors Program. One went to Carmel High School, one went to Bloomington South High School, and one went to Mount High School. So also we had a good spread because we do get applications from throughout the state. And all of the 3 students actually presented at the Student Stammtisch in September. We asked the students to come and make a presentation every September during our student-led Stammtisch programs, unless they live too far away. But even if they live far away, they can participate via Zoom or present via Zoom, and they've done that in the past as well. 2 additional scholarships at $250 each also went on the IU Honors Program to one student at Marion High School in Mishawaka and one student at Plainfield High School. So really, we spread the money around the entire state this time, which was nice to see. And the students did receive, give a presentation. Then as far as the Danville Nitzel Scholarship is concerned, that is a scholarship that's administered through the IUPUI Mascata German American Center, and the German Heritage Society usually contributes to that, or in the past actually has been funding that scholarship, I believe, the past 3 years. But it used to be a joint kind of scholarship, but there has not been any applicant for that in 2 years, so that scholarship was not given out last year. Then Brian already mentioned that our Saturday school, the German language program for children, was restarted again in September of 23, and that's thanks to really to a big part. My thank goes to Lucy Wright. And I think she is online here. Lucy Wright is a new member of the organization, and she moved here from the West Coast, from where she was active and teaching at their German Saturday school in Tacoma. So we're renting space at the international school, and we were able to offer 2 classes in the fall, one for the little kids, the kindergarten group, and then one for the school-age elementary school, and actually we have some middle school students and one high school student in there too. So they're all together in one group, and they're doing great. Yeah. So, and we are offering courses again this spring, and hopefully in this coming fall in 2024, we can offer 3 classes at 3 different levels. So I believe that is I wanted to add that the Eagle-Schule, which actually is not never operated through IGHS, but was supported by us and promoted by us on our website. That's a parent cooperative for German-speaking families. Did not offer, or at least did not offer anything anymore starting in the fall. I believe they had a few times in the spring, but then did not anymore in the fall. So our Saturday school, Indianapolis German School, is the only one that's offering German to children at this point, as far as I know. And I know a lot about that. Okay, any questions on that? Yeah.
Tell me more about the unused scholarship. I see that its value is like over $5,400.
We
I
spend all
can't
the
believe
money.
that it's just sitting
No,
and nobody's applied.
which scholarship do you mean?
The Daniel Memorial Scholarship.
That money is not sitting with IGHS, to my knowledge.
It's not for that amount. The amount that's typically earmarked for the municipal scholarship on an annual basis is somewhere between $500 to $1,000.
Oh, on the IU website, it says 5,400.
No, that's Nicole can speak to this.
Maybe Nicole can shed some light on that, yes.
There's other contributors to that. It's a
Yeah.
consortium.
So that money has accumulated over the last few years because we haven't had any applicants. We haven't had applicants because the German program is not able to offer any majors, and we have had, since we're not able to offer many in-person classes, we've had no luck getting people to minor. And so we don't have people, one, that can apply for that because they have to be a major or a minor. And second, there is an internship requirement, and a lot of students don't have time for the internship. And that's in their application, even at the amount that was listed this year.
What's the criteria for changing the requirements so that
That has to go to the
those
IU
funds are going to be
We're not
used?
able to change those. That's up to the IU Foundation because of how the donor requirements were written. And so we've applied to change those for the last few years. We're not able to change that, the foundation. This is a scholarship that's run through the IU Foundation, and we're not able to convince the foundation to allow us to change the requirements. So we're required to.
So you're required to be a major or a minor, and the school doesn't offer a major or a minor.
We offer a major and minor, we just, for many, many reasons, we can talk about this later, we're not able to offer enough classes to give a major, and we don't have students who are, our minor is not as successful as it used to be. And I'd be happy to talk through that part with you, but really the hindrance is the internship from what I've heard from students. And we're not able to change that, unfortunately, because of the foundations.
But that's actually sort of on the agenda for the education committee going forward also to create more interest among the German language students at IUPY to apply for that scholarship because as Nicole said, they don't have to be majors or minors. And the internship really is not a full-fledged internship either. It could be 5 hours a week. So it's very loosely defined. So it's a PR issue as much as it is an issue of a declining number of majors and minors who are the most likely to apply for that, yeah. But it doesn't rule out the students. So we have hopes that we will find students again in the future to apply for it because it is a nice sum of money that is sitting there. And the idea was to bring the Max Carter Center and the German American community together through this scholarship to provide students with internship and sense of more service learning where they get exposed to the German American community. That was the original idea of that scholarship.
The IGHS website says that the last time it was awarded was in 2019.
That's not up to date. No.
Okay.
No, that's not up to date.
2021.
Yeah, 2021, actually, we had one student during the pandemic that received that scholarship and used it for an internship overseas. So, yeah, so it's been a few years, but we have hopes, and I'm glad you're pointing that out, that we will find students again to apply for that. But the scholarship is in memory of Daniel Nützel, who was the director of the Max Carter Center, and also the president of IGHS at the time when he passed away suddenly, and this was established in his memory. So it combines, it requires the two organizations to work together, yeah. I did forget to mention something, and I have to go back on the scholarships. There were two $500 scholarships given on students going on that 3-week exchange, the German American Partnership Program. One went to Northwestern High School for travel to Oldenburg, and another one went to William Harris West Lafayette for travel to Mannheim and to Munich. So we really funded quite a few students last year through our scholarship program. And we hope to do that again. Actually, we did again this year. But that's not part of this report.
Okay, thank you so much, both Claudia and Wendy, for the committee report. Is there a motion to approve that? Oh, Bill in the back.
I have a question. That's actually more of a suggestion.
Yes.
And, you aptly reported all these winners was in Bloomington, Terre Haute, Plainfield. I suggest that when we award these, that we prepare a news release, because some of these places still have newspapers. And then that would highlight the students' achievement as well as get our name out there as well. So just, maybe
Cooperation
that's part of
between
PR,
education
part of
and
the
PR.
PR. But it's another way of getting our name out there. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Our motion to approve the education committee report. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. This guy's on the hot seat. Dr. Hoyt, research and publications report.
In the interest of time, I'll move through this quickly because it's available on the website. Look at also our website for the Indiana to the publication courses, www.ighs.org, and you can check out our publications. Now, the publications and research, of course, is the heart of a lot of what the IGHS is all about, and of course, the Knox County Research and Resource Center as well. We work together with the, it's called the NCSA Literatura company. Steve Schmidt and I are the managers of said company. It's a separate 501c3 corporation that has its own funding and publishes the works which you will see on the website. And also they are available for purchase, of course. We accept credit cards, cash, and checks. It's a very active publication program, and you will see it on the website. I will not go through all of them, but just note, interestingly enough, that two of our bestsellers remains the Scheidung Lesefiebe that our former editor and late hero Eberhard Reichmann published, also his book, Hoosier German Tales, Small and Tall, remained a bestseller as well. In this past year, we've been working on a number of books that will be coming out, including the publishing of Dr. Dolores Hoyt there, Turn to Libraries, as soon as she finishes looking through the manuscript again. Hint, hint. A translation of Zervesta letters, a series of letters from Civil War that I'm responsible for, and to myself to move on that. We're going to publish a very interesting collection of poetry on the life of the German African American Ida Hagen from down in the Jasper area by Barbara Croft, sitting right here. We also work with a number of other organizations, including the Irvington Historical Society, and one of our big bestsellers there is Charlotte Huttinger's Madge, The Life and Times of Madge Oberholzer, who you will remember was the victim of a Ku Klux Klan chief at the time and led to the collapse of the Ku Klux Klan. So we're very active in that. We organize this, the annual meeting and symposium as well. We also support Bill Sound with his activity in setting up around the state it's called the Big Bible. This is a directional kiosk, if you will, that shows in Indiana, German American towns like Munster and so on, and German equivalent thereof, that people can look at it and recognize the relationship between the two countries and the historical connections that we have. Those are all that's a separate report as well, and all over the state is very active on that. So,
Any questions concerning this? Okay, thank you. Okay, is there a motion to approve the research and publications report?
So moved.
There's a second on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Giles, Bill, Steve, all your work on that. Research and publications, the PR, we're gonna have Travis Yeri pinch hit for Maria and Bad Boyd, because I don't believe Maria's online. I think she's maybe still traveling.
She's on her way back.
On her way back. So, Travis
Let me just.
did a yeoman's job in terms of summarizing all the activities for PR in 2023. So, talk to him.
Sure. So Brian already talked about a number of the key initiatives from the PR committee. And yeah, I'm happy to step in for Maria. So Brad Boyd, before I get to that, Brad Boyd did step down as chair of the committee. Maria will stay on as the chair of the committee. And I'm just a member of the committee. But I'm pinch hitting, as he talked about. The Hoosier German American of the Year was given to Gerhard Clem. As we already talked about, we still have yet to actually give him the presentation because he had surgery and then went to Florida for his winter hibernation, and he will be back soon, and that's why he doesn't have it yet. So it's just where he is in his life. And this is a summary of some of the attributes of Gerhard Clem, some of the reasons why he was chosen as the winner of the award. The Das Pretzelhaus and Kartoffelpufferkirche did have a very good year. We talked a lot about the individuals have talked a lot about the money and the dollars, and that we have money now. But I do need to thank Amy officially on behalf of the organization. This is my wife, Amy. She was effectively the manager and operator of those huts, and took on basically a second full-time job in the months of November through the first week of January, working in at least 40 hours a week just on that, plus her job as a science program director with LabCorp in addition to that. So 3 hours or 4 hours of sleep a night, and I helped her whenever I could. So thank you, Amy. That's the reason that money exists. And they were very successful this year, not only in the sense of raising funds, but also outreach. We handed out a lot of public information about the organization. This was done as a partnership with the IGHS and the German American Club of Indianapolis, who also sent a number of members that we ended up paying. A lot of those are GAK members. And so that we hope that partnership continues. The other thing at Common Christkindlmarkt was Kulturwecke. The Christmas season of 2022, Kulturwecke was more or less put on pause because of some issues with the management of that part of the market, but we started it again this last year, and it did great. A couple of new things that happened. We had scholarships just for Kulturwecke docents. We awarded 3 of them. The names are here. It should be Amy Cook, Megan Munson, and Camille Short. They each wrote essays, something to do with German holiday traditions. Amy's was on her experiences of living as a German American, being born in Germany, coming to the United States, and her family. Megan Munson's was on the pickle. Some of you may have seen that news report that was on the news. And Camille Short wrote about German American food traditions at her holiday household, which we're going to talk about the rest of the meeting. So that was wonderful. We filled 80% of the docent positions with the scholarship winners, myself. I think Marcia was there, Worth was there a lot, Janet was there a lot. I don't mean to leave anyone out. Angelica Becker was there a lot, Inge was there a lot, exactly. So we ended up filling 80% of the spots. So we were really, really happy about that, and a lot of material. That's exactly the kind of PR material that we need. Yeah, we had as Brian mentioned before, the Weihnachtslieder und Baumschmuckaustausch. I guess we call it Christbaumschmuckaustausch. So very successful event, very well received. 2 St. Nicholas Fests, one at the Common Christkindlmarkt, the other one here at the Athenaeum Foundation. We sadly had to retire our previous St. Nicholas, Dr. Giles White, who he is now the St. Nicholas Emeritus, and Mark Maya, for the first time, is our St. Nicholas forward at both of those events. Outreach at events, we were at German Fest, we were in German Park at Indianapolis Oktoberfest, Oldenburg Freudenfest, I guess we also had Straßenfest, which we didn't realize, but we need to do a better job coordinating that as well as at the table at the International Festival. As far as 2024 initiatives, again, we'll be doing the German American Award as always, and so already the applications are coming in for that. Kulturwecke will happen again. There will be some renovations done, some revamping, some changes to how that exhibit works and what's in it. And Sandy Richardson and I will be working on that together. She's a marketing employee and representing us, our PR committee in that. Expanding the state outreach program by being a coordinated effort at more events throughout the state of Maine. I have Straßenfest, we got to be there, sounds like we are. Other events, other schools, et cetera, throughout the entire state, not just Indianapolis, is a focus point we want to work on. The cultural enhancement funds have been noted. In terms of the fundraiser monies from the two huts, if you look at how the operation works, and one of the reasons why Al presented it the way he did in terms of this is education, this is events and PR, and this is monies. If you look at like the money, the organization runs itself in terms of administrative monies for administrative purposes. Those other monies from Chris Kindlemark, they go to education and events. And that's pretty much how the balance has worked out if you look at the budget and kind of separate them out into those categories. So a lot of those will be allocated for the cultural enhancement funds. I didn't put an application form on, but essentially it'll work like a grant. It's something I do 3 times a year at the NIH, is work on study sections. This is going to be much easier because it's just a 500-page abstract instead of a 12-page online to a review, but essentially in that 500-word abstract, the event has to say, this is important to German Americans because this is what we're going to do with it. And then they get the funds of a certain amount, and then they will come back and present to it. How did it go? Are you going to do it again? What was it? Did it really pay off? Did it really, what was the final result? And that's events as well as exhibits. So that can be markers, that can include signs. It can include things like new German American places that have been identified, and make an exhibit in that place to commemorate it. All of those sorts of things. We need to expand and coordinate our online presence better, including our website, social media pages, and also with the newsletter articles so that they have permanency, because the newsletter concept of 20-page pieces of paper is very much becoming obsolete. But those articles are excellent and they need to have permanency in an online setting, and you go through and add to them in social medias, and they go to the website and they're always there and people can always access them in that form. And then we also have the German American events calendar that is across the state and the city. And I don't know if I even can open that. No, looks like I just have it right. But essentially, organizations enter their events in there, so it's a one-stop place to find them as long as we get everybody to take part and have their events today. And so we started that over the last year, and we'll continue to promote that so that there's a place everyone knows what's going on in Germany. Questions? Yes.
Your committee would deal with the website needing to be updated?
Yeah, that would be something we would be working on with the board, yes.
Good.
And we have to do a better job of that coordination, which is why it's a 5-point for this year.
So you can see there's, from a PR standpoint, a lot of things that are actually going on, but also it's a continuous process of actually getting better. We need to actually strive from a PR standpoint. Obviously, Bill's pointed out some suggestions, a few suggestions here. We're hoping with the maturation of the Chris Kindlemark that Maria will now be able to have a little more time to focus on some PR activities and some of the items that I called out here too. We have the tools in place. We just need to actually refine those tools and enhance them. And then, the success that we've had as of late from a financial standpoint is allowing us to pivot here and actually start doing things that's culturally enhanced, whether it's like we talked about in terms of the inscriptions, whether it's, trail map markers, whether it's whatever in terms of restoration process. They will go through a vetting process to make sure that we're ongoing and continuing to increase those enhancements across the state. And it'll be, once that is laid out in the framework that's associated with that, those applications will go through the vetting process, and the funds as appropriate and what we have will be sent to those projects. So we're hoping to get more traction on that, and I'm really excited to hear about that. And I think in terms of all the work that Travis and Amy have done up at Carmel Christian Mark, I think that just deserves a round of applause, right? And even the applause itself is not enough in terms of all the work and commitment that these two actually do amongst the whole German American community in the greater Indianapolis area. So it's just, thank you for all the work you do. I know it's not enough like that, but I want you to know that we're acknowledging it, and it means a lot to us. And you're really instrumental in terms of pushing forward this agenda that we sometimes lose a little traction on, and I think we're starting to gain some footing on.
And that's not only the financial part of it, but it's also, it's actually having the ideas, instituting the ideas, developing the structure, going out there, seeing the need out there, and being able to actually come to that need and fill that need. And so that's what we're intending with the cultural enhancement program to do. I'm really excited about it. So more to come on that. More will be posted on the website. So getting back to PR, the committee report, in terms of approving, is there a motion?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you again. Historic Preservation Committee, Flicks, is Ron or Don online?
I'm online. It's Don. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, and I apologize for not being there. I will be there tomorrow for the rest of the festivities. So, the Historic Preservation Committee in the past year continued developing a database of notable Indiana German heritage landmarks to be made accessible on the IGHS website. Initially, this will entail a listing of historical markers with an Indiana German connection. We also collaborated with the Fishers Historical Society on applying for a historic marker to commemorate the former location of the lost village of Germantown, now under Geist Reservoir. The application submitted to the Indiana Historical Bureau, which oversees the state historic marker program, was not accepted in 2023, but feedback was given, and we were urged to modify and to resubmit the application in 2024. We began the process of establishing a German inscription, Sankt Marienkirche, at St. Mary's Catholic Church in downtown Indianapolis to honor the memory of our former IGHS president, Jim Kinley, and to visibly recognize the German roots of the parish. We researched and wrote a National Register nomination for the historic high school gymnasium in the heavily German community of Jasper in DuBois County. And we continued research into the following topics with the goal of creating presentations for future Stammtisches. First one was Gertrude Mahorny, the first African-American woman to graduate from an Indiana college, Butler, in 1887, who taught the German language in segregated schools in Indianapolis and Rockville. We're working on a presentation to do German churches of DuBois County. One researching the German American traveling medicine shows that operated primarily in the Midwest in the late 19th and early 20th century. And I've been researching Elizabeth Dietz, a German descendant, who was teacher at New Alsace High School, who in 1927 became the first woman to coach a high school boys basketball team in Indiana and possibly anywhere. So those are some of the research projects that we're working on that might become possible Stammtisches. So if anybody got any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Any questions for Don? I don't see any, Don.
Okay,
Thank you for the report.
sure.
All right. Is there a motion to approve? So. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Don and Ron. Now we'll go over to Program Committee report, Bill and Ron.
Now, while I have the floor, I wanted to just interject what Vegvisor is, even though that's part of the previous presentation. The Vegvisor, it's been on, is always on the move, I'm happy to say. So last past year, January, Indiana State House Rotunda. February and March, Roncalli High School. April and May, Perry Meridian High School. June through August, Allen County Public Library in Fort Wayne. And September, October, Michigan Road Public Library, which is a branch of the Indianapolis Public Library. And then for one day, the Indianapolis Cologne, Indianapolis Firefighters German Exchange Fest. It made an appearance there. And then one day at the Athenaeum German Fest. October, November, Marian University, the Hackelmeyer Library. November, December, the Athenaeum Christkindlmarkt, and then December into this January, the Indiana State House Rotunda. I'd like to thank people who helped out with that. Wendy Westfall's always been very supportive of getting it to Marian College, Marian University. And Louise Hibner and Beata Westerhaus, both teachers on the south side at Roncalli and Perry Meridian respectively. And then a super thanks to Allison Dupre Singleton, board member, who then asked it to be there at Fort Wayne for the summer because of the German Genealogy Conference. And then also thank you so much, Albrecht Hurt, for driving, you and your wife, driving that all the way to Fort Wayne and setting it up. And then Melissa Hobson was responsible for helping out with, insisting that it be at the firefighters Union Hall for the German Exchange Fest. And then a shout out from the year before, Sonia Simpson at the Federal Courthouse Library had this great idea. They were having Diversity Month. And so she said, okay, Germans are part of diversity. That's very clever. And so, you know, recognize that we have a place at the table. So, Vegvisor then was at the Federal Courthouse in the library. So that was very clever. And I want to tell other people, when you have an opportunity like that, pounce on it, pounce on it. Also, because we're part of that, we have a place at the table as well. Now, getting back to the program committee. Let's see, did I thank you? Oh, yes, I also need to thank Ursula Nicola, because she helps book these places. So she calls and finds out, well, can we place it there, and then makes an appointment. So I'm very grateful to her for helping with that. Now, program committee from Ron Fleck and yours truly. We had a number of our own board members who are presenters, but our program, we skipped January. We had too much binocs. So we skipped January and then started in February. Title was Bruno Schmidt's Design of Monuments, a look at his life and work, which is presented by Inga Davies. Of course, Bruno Schmidt's Design Our Sailor's Monument, his only work in Switzerland. And March, we had a look at hooks and hang drugstores. Now, if you're old enough, you will remember those, because those were two chain drugstores in central Indiana, both German names. And David Steele, who's the managing principal of Steele Group, a business consulting firm, who did the research and the presentation. And it was very enlightening. April 12th, Fran Reigele, teacher of German, here at Hamilton Southeastern Fishers, she presented the pioneer Schramm family of Sugar Creek Township, Hancock County, Indiana. And that's a celebrated family because Jakob Schramm wrote very long, detailed letters back to his family, and basically says, "Don't come. It's all trees, and it'll take forever to make this productive." So she did additional research, and those letters were published in Germany, and then later translated into English and published by Indiana Historical Society, translated by Schramm's granddaughter, Emma Schnoll Vonnegut. In May, we had early Indiana synagogues and the Germanic period of Indiana Jewish history, a wonderful presentation by Michael Brown, who was the executive director of the Indiana Jewish Historical Society. And I'd like to keep a channel open with him because we have common interests, especially with that phase of German Jewry coming to Indiana and building synagogues in many places. June 4th, Ron Fleck and Charlotte Ottinger presented on Berlin, past, present, and future. And this was based on their personal observations, looking at a new museum gallery, the James Simon Gallery in Berlin, and which won its architect won a prestigious Pritzker Prize. So Ron and Charlotte explained that. The 9th of August, had a delightful concert by the Indianapolis Theater Cross Band, and we plan to do that again in August. September, we had the student presentations, cross-cultural learning IU honors program in Austria, which has already been discussed. So we had I think three student presenters, thank you. And those, again, they're insights because we give them money to do this program, and then so we like to have them come back and tell us how that went. And it's so important then for study travel. It really enhances one's education. October, that didn't go too well. German Christmas traditions is canceled, but we're going to have it again this fall. Then in November, we had a young woman who was at Mitchell High School, and she was participated in the Congress Bundestag Youth Exchange. She stayed in Nordrhein-Westfalen, not far from Cologne, and she found us when she was in Germany. She Googled us, found us, and said, "Hey, how can I help you?" So we invited, her name is Anna Sauder, and that was a very good presentation. Then in December, we had I'll take a gulp of air here, Weihnachtsliederkranz und Christbaum-Schmuckaustausch. Again, that was with the cooperation of the Indianapolis Liederkranz, with Wilhelm Laut as the MC and Cliff and Lucia Chandler then accompanied. So that was it. Oh, the other one is, and I forgot to put it on here, and I think Ron will agree with me. Those two Nikolaus programs, well, that's part of the program too. And we welcomed our new Nikolaus, and then his helper is two different characters there, or one character played by two different people. Nikolaus Selm, plays Connect Ruprecht, as does Ron Fleck. So we're appreciative of that. Are there any questions about
Are the established programs all on our website or just some of them?
As someone who
Because they're
runs the
recorded.
website, as someone who runs the website,
So they are, wherever we can actually record, that is of decent quality. Had a few hiccups along the way, but most of them have been recorded and there's an extensive catalog of all our past programs from 2021 to present on our website that links over to YouTube. So the video is not held on the website. The video is held in YouTube that it links over.
I'm glad someone could answer that question. Any other questions? And we're always looking for good, interesting speakers. And all we need is the connection. It's the G word. It's the G, German somehow. To
But
help.
surprisingly, you already booked out the entire year of 2024, right? So we don't run out of ideas, so that's great.
Well, sometimes we do. Because I'm doing the one in June, that's because I couldn't think of something, so I said, okay, I'll do it. So sometimes we do. And so we're always looking for interesting suggestions for programs to continue our education about German, Indiana, something. So we're interested in a wide variety of things.
Any other questions for Bill? Let's see right here. Is there a motion to approve the program committee report? There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill, Ron, now we'll go to nominations. Bill and Fabian.
Should I have a seat and come back up or just stay?
You can stand.
Okay. I and Fabian, right, Fabian, are very happy to report the slate. So the nomination committee respectfully submits the following names. Are those up there? Okay, thank you. For consideration. So we had a number, most of the board members from this past year said, asked if they serve again, responded with a resounding jawohl. So I'll mention these all for 3-year terms. So that means you're still on the hook until 2027. That's Paul Brockman. Paul's here. Thank you, Paul. Inga Davies, Allison Prey Singleton, Ron Flecht, Marcia Gaucho, Brian P. Griesemer, Claudia Grossman, Tom Haynes, Melissa Hobson, Janet Price, and yours truly, William Sell. Now, we have 2 vacancies, and I had some excellent suggestions. And these 2 candidates then are Colin Rank and Lucy Wright. And they are, I asked them to send me information about themselves and the question, what do you bring to Indiana German Heritage Society? I won't read everything, but Lucy is a native of Belarus. But when she spent as a young girl 5 years in the good old bad old days of East Germany, because her father was in the military stationed in the East Germany, in Rostock. And there is when, as a child, she discovered a love of German language and culture. This love determined her life and stayed with her forever. So she has been part of the revival of the Samstagsschule. She believes that with her love of German language and culture, experience in teaching and organizational skills, that she would be a good fit for Indiana German Heritage Society, and first of all, for Educational Committee. I agree. So that is Lucy, and she was very enthusiastic. So that's good. I didn't have to pull any teeth. The other candidate is Colin Rank, and maybe some of you know him. Colin works at the International Center for Programs and Services Department, which includes the organization's Office of Protocol and Business Services, including intercultural workshops, training, protocol, consulting, and relocation services. And he has an MBA from Butler and a BS in Public and Nonprofit Management from Indiana University, which sounds fantastic. And he wrote, with a lifelong passion for Germany, Colin studied German in high school and was an active participant in the Indianapolis Cologne Sister City program. and in 2018 received a grant from the Wunderbar Together Deutschlandjahr USA to organize, that's from the German Foreign Office, to organize the first ever business conference between Indiana and Germany. And by joining IGHS, he hopes to promote a modern, vibrant Germany to younger audiences and create new cultural engagement opportunities in the transatlantic relationship. Boy, does that sound good. So those are the two candidates, two new candidates for the board. I presented also the ones who are standing again, returning, and then also the officer slate. You want me to present that now? No, okay, I won't. All right. So are there any questions?
I move that the slate be accepted as presented.
Is there a second? All those in favor? Any opposed? Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
I move that we suspend.
Thank you.
Meeting in order to.
You are welcome.
Suspend the annual meeting and have an in-camera board meeting to elect the officers, because according to our constitution, the board elects the officers.
Second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The annual meeting is now suspended. We're in the in-camera meeting session right now. Now you can start.
All right, slate. President, Ryan P. Griesemer. Vice President, Donald Flick. Secretary, Janet Price. Treasurer, Michael Albrecht Harris. End of slate.
I move that the slate as presented by the nominating committee be accepted as the officers of the organization.
You should say nominating at four.
Nominated by the committee to the board.
Correct, yeah. I mean, if you do, if you.
I'll just give up.
Is there a second to the motion?
Yes, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. We announced.
I move that the board meeting, in-camera board meeting be adjourned. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. We're back to the annual meeting.
We are now back in the.
Is that confusing? Good thing we record this, right? I've been doing this for 6-7 years. I still can't. Okay, so I think we got, according to the agenda, if we are complete here, is there any comments or discussion? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Any opposed?